Hi, Eric.
Hey, Jesse.
We are continuing to answer questions about our joyful Un-Bootcamp that we have coming up. And the world is in a really interesting place right now, and people have a lot of things that they can decide between taking on or learning or growing, and sometimes it can feel a little bit overwhelming. So let's try to make sure that we're really, really clear how our Un-Bootcamp is going to help or who it's going to help. So, Eric, who is the Un-Bootcamp for?
Josie, I would love to just go ahead and say, oh, it's for everybody, but functionally, it's not. I'll be really straight up. This is while we have programs in the works that are for team members and for other people inside organizations. This is designed for leaders and managers. This is for the people that are every single day having to work with and try to harness the best from the people inside their company. This is for people for many leaders that are miserable right now and that are sitting there and saying, I just don't want to have to go in and look at any of the other team members. It's also for people that are really happy, but that recognize that perhaps they aren't making the contribution that they could to their teams, or that their teams aren't functionally performing at the level that they could, right? And then
Mhm.
at the same time, this is for people that might be somewhere in between. Like, I remember I had a lot of days it was like, oh, great day today, and then the next day I was like, I'm jumping off a bridge. And so, people that want to have greater consistency, right? Because the core concept of our leadership and management is functionally that they yield accountability. And so, are you one of those people that lacks accountability inside of your company? What By the way, practically every company I've ever looked in lacks some accountability. And so, that's another person that it's for. But who else am I missing, Josie?
I as we have built companies together and as we have built other things, I think that one of the things that makes this very different that we want to talk about is this is for people who care deeply about relationships and who care deeply about connection. Because, how often was I constantly like pounding my fist on the table that it doesn't matter if you have a DDS or an MBA or whatever behind your name, we have to treat people well. So if you are one of those people that you really want to treat people well and you want to connect with them, then this is for you. What other mindsets can you think of, Eric, that might be important to know for the people who this really will be beneficial for?
See who it's not beneficial for. And you and I have both encountered them. It's leaders that believe that they're inherently superior to the people that are inside their organization. One of our values, Josie, is built on equality of contribution of our people. In other words, I don't care if you're the most capable and most famous dentist in the United States of America. You were born in the exact same manner as that young team member that's sitting at the front desk answering phones. And while your decisions in life have changed the way that the world values what you provide, inherently your value in creation is the exact same. And just like you deserve to be able to live out your highest and best purpose for your life, so too does that team member. If you can't see that inherent value, that equality of humanity, and if you don't want to see every person inside your business elevated to their highest and best purpose, even if it's not inside your company, functionally, this isn't necessarily something that you should be involved in. There's other systems out there that are far more capable for you. But if you really look around and you wonder every day about how you can empower your team members to really live their best life and how you can live this joyful experience. And I mean, we spend more time together in our offices with each other, Josie, than we do at home with the people that we claim to love, right?
Mhm.
Like, it makes no sense that we shouldn't be able to experience joy and elevate each other at our workplace.
Absolutely. You're touching on our goal for what a joyful leader looks like. You
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
what? And so if I go through this unboot camp and I get to become a joyful leader, give us a little taste of what that looks like from the leader's perspective and maybe even for the team.
Yeah. Well, joyful leaders and being a member in a joyful team isn't just about what happens between 9 and 5, right? It's about everything that takes place in our lives. And it's about understanding that a joyful leader, Josie, understands that every team member is human. And just like each of us, just like you and I go through like negative cycles in our life where bad crap is happening. Part of being human is that bad crap's coming. And instead of lying about it and covering it up and saying, Josie, you get out there and you give me your best. You give me 110% every day. I don't care what's going on in your house burned down, right?
Mhm.
Joyful leaders understand, and they create a culture of vulnerability and where they can lean against each other and support one another in times of need. And yet, just in that same sense that they have that heart, joyful leaders also have the understanding and the structure and the acumen to be able to point out when it's not right for us to continue in this relationship. It's not about pleasing each other. It's about us serving one another towards a mutually shared vision, right? That's what joyful leaders get to experience every day. It's that strength of conviction. It's that contentment and mission and vision, and yet power in relationship, right? That's what it means to be a joyful leader.
Eric, becoming a joyful leader means I don't need an org chart or a hierarchy to lead, right? Because my people will follow me and want to help push my vision forward. And we are confident that more joyful leaders will change this world to be a better place. And that is our mission, and our purpose is to create more joyful leaders and therefore more joyful teams, because we know that as we do that, we can literally change the way people experience work.
Josie, you and I, like, we may be out of our minds, but right now, in the craziness of the world, what this world needs more than anything else is joy, sweet joy. And if we can solve a big piece of that inside the arena of work and have our team members carry it home with them, Josie, we can go a long way to changing our world.